Welcome everyone. We are on the Canongate section of the Royal Mile here in Edinburgh, quite close to Holyrood House. Now today we are going to talk about the Curse of Edinburgh. Across the road there you can see the Tollbooth Tavern and the Tollbooth itself. Now this is a 16th century building, and this is where the courts would be, where you would be sentenced and held as a prisoner. It's also where you would pay your taxes when you came into Edinburgh to sell your wares and wares. Now, this is the Weird Shop, and this is the last stop that we have on the Witchcraft Edinburgh tour, and it allows you to go in and buy your wares and wares inside the shop itself. Now, we're going to make our way to Bakehouse Close. Now, further up the Royal Mile is St Gelsies Cathedral, and it was there a minister was picked up and asked to perform the last rites on a female who was said to be dying. A hood was placed over his head, he was taken and placed into a sedan chair, and then wheeshed down Edinburgh, up and down closes, through wines, and eventually made his way to the Canongate. When he got out of the sedan chair, the hood was kept on and he was rushed inside. And when he got inside, he asked, "Where is the young lady?" He was told that she was in the drawing room, and he was shown which way to go to enter into the drawing room. When he got there, he asked, bit strange, she's not dying. He came back out and he told the housekeeper that. A gun was produced, and he was told that if he didn't perform the last rites, then he too, would be performing the last rites on himself. Needless to say, he changed his mind and he performed the last rites. When he come back out the room, the hood was replaced over his head and a bag of money was thrown into his hands, and he was told, "Never speak of this again." He was sworn into silence. Now, as time went on, a parishioner told him that there was a large fire down in the Canongate which burnt a house down, and within the wreckage of the house they had discovered a young girl's body. He knew right away what had happened. The young girl had been murdered. He told the authorities, but at the time the authorities came down here, the family was long since gone. About 50 years later, another house was built on the site. This too burned down, but this time the people of Edinburgh quickly came down to try and put the fire out. But when they got there, they saw a young girl stranded in the centre of the fire. No matter how hard they tried to get her out, the fire would rage up around them. Then the fire quietened, and she spoke. "Burn me once, burn me twice, burn me thrice, and I shall come back and haunt you all." Thankfully, there's never been a fire quite like the ones that destroyed those two houses. If there was, we'd lose part of our parliament. Not good. So the curse of Edinburgh has still to be fulfilled. Now, you may recognise this close, especially if you are an Outlander fan. This was in season 3 of Outlander, and this was the French market. Now, today is still one of the most original closes in Edinburgh. Over the wall there is the Edinburgh Heritage Trust, and this is their headquarters. On the other side, today it is Huntly House, but it is also the Museum of Edinburgh, and it is well worth visiting the museum. There is a lot of interesting artifacts and objects with inside the museum itself. Now, as I say, if you're an Outlander fan, it's a good reason to visit the close and have your picture taken on the set of Outlander. Now, through these lovely little gates there is actually a private garden where you are able to sit and have a picnic when the museum is actually open. Now, directly in front of you is a sundial, and of course, sundials were used to be able to tell the time. First proper way of actually telling the time, and there has three faces on the sundial that you're actually looking at. There's lots of other artifacts in there as well, and objects, gravestones, and very interesting signs that you can look at while you're having your little picnic. Also, when you come here, as you saw earlier in the video, there is one of Edinburgh's oldest doors, which is heavily graffitied at the moment, sad to say. But I hope you enjoyed this video.